Hey guys, this is Camper15 and I'm back at it with another review for you guys, and this is another One Piece anime episode review, and this is episode 937. And this episode, was really freaking good. Um Man, it seems like we could be having some underlying things going on, but at the same time it seems like the alliance might be coming back together, and it seems like we might be adding some new allies to the team. So, anyways, as we all left off last week, we had the Kumara. We had, well, not Kumurasaki. I keep forgetting. Not she's not Kumurasaki. She's Hiyori. Hiyori told Zoro about her backstory and how she was brought up to the person she is today. Um, as well as we get the introduction to Rio. So yeah, and this episode covers really who Tonoyasu is and Luffy learning to train more Rio, and then as well as Hio getting the development of the rebellion. So, anyways, the episode starts off where we last left off with Luffy, and Hio, after using his Rio powers, he's so old to the point it's the power's too much for his body to handle because he's a much more older person than he used to be. Now he tells Luffy, he's like, look, you see, probably out on the seas where you call it, or how your people call it, you call it hockey. But here in Wano, we call it Rio. And in other words, it's the meaning of flow. So he essentially tells Luffy that, when you use Rio, you have to have the hockey flow throughout your body to use this technique. It's almost, to me, I guess, in a way, it reminds me of, I guess, Dragon Ball when Goku and Vegeta were learning how to become, Super Saiyan gods and stuff like that. How they had to have more energy control because that's the thing about um, Super Saiyan God. It's mostly about energy control and stuff like that. And I felt like, oh, it's something like that. Essentially, it's like controlling, or letting the letting essentially letting you know you feeling the body of the technique you're trying to do. Now, he tries to do Rio against Modillo Man, and you can see his hand light up with, I guess, yellow around it. But he actually, instead of using it forcefully and not hitting him, he actually hits Modillo Man. Now, Hio tells him, look, don't try so hard to do this, and do not, strain yourself doing this. He also goes on to make another point is that he says you need to allow the unused hockey in your body to flow to your fist. So essentially, he's kind of saying like, listen, the hockey you aren't using when you're, using hockey, let that flow, let that flow into your fist to be able to perform this technique. So one, it's nice that Hio is actually teaching Luffy how to do this. It's like a second Rayleigh in a way, and I've the more I got to see Hio, the more I started to like him a lot. Now in this moment, Queen sees that Luffy's just destroyed literally half of the people in the prison, and he's starting to get legit pissed off now. He's like, good. He's like, all right, get in there and crush that guy. Now we cut to Ebisu Town, where the conversation between Tonoyasu, Kanjuro, and Shinobu go on, and he knows of Kinemon, and he also knows the plan. He actually even deciphers on the sheet what the letter means, and obviously we all know and stuff like that, like the meetup points at Habu Point and stuff like that, the Fire Festival raid and stuff like that. He also has heard the name and knows about Kinemon, and he even tells Shinobu, like, in the episode, he says Kinemon-kun, and he says Shinobu-chan, so he knows about them. He also offers, by telling Kanjuro and Shinobu, like, look, I'll help you guys out, whatever cost I can do. Now, after he leaves and goes on, he it's funny. He makes these funny comments to Usopp, like he's saying, "Oh, a very handsome man." To Nami's like, "Oh, a very beautiful woman." I forgot what he said about the grandma, the old lady, and stuff like that. And I think he goes, "Oh, young child" or something like that, which I found hilarious because after that they're like, "Oh my goodness, thank you" and stuff like that. We already know that Nami is like that. Usopp kind of showed that as well as the other girl. It was funny. It was funny. So in the meantime, while he's out, Sanji, Frankie, and Robin all ask him like, "Hey, do you know this guy? Like, is he like an old childhood friend or something from the past? You know?" And Shinobu and Kanjuro know nothing about them. They're like, to be honest, we don't know this guy. So yeah, we see that I get well, it's probably not his grandfather, but Tonoyasu goes to this old man's place he calls Grandpa or Gramps, and he kind of does this other thing. He also helps out this one lady as well. Now we cut back to Udon. Now Hio actually says because Luffy's just punching, punching, punching. He's not even doing Hio or even activating it. And Hio actually tells him like, look, you can't activate this technique if you don't let your hockey flow, and your hockey ain't gonna flow when you're angry and stuff like that. So Luffy still continually punches while he's angry, which I think he was also trying to tell him like, yo, you need to be calmer. You need to be a lot more calmer instead of being pissed off. Because we see that Luffy, he's one of those characters, and he's a typical shonen protagonist where, as they get more angrier, they get stronger. But, it would be an interesting thing if Luffy fights much more calmer and stuff like that. So, yeah. Um, we cut back again to Ebisu Town, and thanks to the old lady, because Nami and Usopp oversee him, and they're like, wondering like, man, that guy is very, very happy and stuff like that. And essentially the old lady tells him like, oh yeah, Tonoyasu, he kind of just, he's like really the life of the town. He makes people happy. He makes sure everybody and everybody here in the town appreciates him because you see him as you see him. He like asks about some people how they're doing. He asks about like the baby, even holds the baby. And he seems like a generally nice guy. And it's like, okay, so Tonoyasu, even though he has a very odd behavior and a, interesting way on how he acts and how he always smiles, and he's, not like your typical regular person, he is still at heart a good guy. Um, the old lady actually brings up a crazy revelation which I did not see coming. Now that when you look at it, it's like, oh, now I see the resemblance. We find out that Tonoyasu has a daughter, and and his daughter is Otoko. Yes, the Otoko that was smiling and laughing. Now it makes sense why Otoko has the weird look design on her face, as well as why she always looks like she's happy because her dad always looks like she's happy. We find out when she was younger. Well, when she was young, she was sold to the flower capital, and she's been working. And we know that Tonoyasu from the old lady says he only makes peanuts and stuff like that because Nami and Usopp think he's like really, really rich and he has money, but no, he only makes essentially peanuts and he gives that food to the people to eat. Um, but the old lady goes on to say that since Otoko's working, she sends him her earnings of what she makes from the job, from obviously what she's doing, to send to him so he'll be able to like essentially support himself. So Toko, really cares about, Tonoyasu, her dad, and they even cut back to Otoko when she was sleeping. She's like, "Daddy," and stuff like that. So yeah, which if you saw the next episode preview, it seems like yeah, it's gonna be something that's really gonna be freaking crazy that might happen, and it might not end so well for Toko. Um, now, it's actually nighttime, and they're like, okay, we'll continue this little thing tomorrow. But Luffy, still wanting to fight, is like, no, I want to fight now. I want to fight more, and he's just pissed, and stuff like that. And plus, he's also hungry. Now, this is when we get an interesting part of the episode. And he actually asked Luffy, like, look, dude, why did you fight Kaido? I overheard you fought him once, and you almost got killed. And Luffy looks around and he obviously sees the guards surrounding the ring, and he's like, okay, I gotta keep things quiet. So Luffy has the smartness not to open his mouth. So what he does is he uses Conqueror's Haki to knock out all their guards, and then that's when he tells, Hiyu about the four emperors of the sea, and that they're pirates and stuff like that. He also goes on to say that he wants to become king of the pirates, and he actually hears he's like king of the pirates. I heard that phrase before, and he's like, that sounds something like Roger, and Luffy's like, wait, Roger, you knew Gold Roger, and Hugh tells us that Roger actually came to Wano a long time ago. So if you're an anime only, um, that's revelations to you. But at the same time, if you saw the new opening, you saw Roger in it. So obviously, and plus, obviously, it makes totally sense that Roger would actually see Wano because almost legit in any legendary place. For example, Skypiea. Roger went to Skypiea essentially. Um, uh, and same thing here. He went to Wano and stuff like that. So yeah, Hugh, because Luffy actually brings up the name Kinemon. Hugh actually is like, wait, you know Kinemon as well, and stuff like that. Now, we see this. We see this mud thing, and we see it's obviously Caribou, but in Caribou's mud thing, we see Rizel's in there, and he's talking to Luffy and Hio. Now, it cuts back to something real quick, and we see Tonoyasu, and he's running with something in his arms. But the people who were chasing after him called him Ushimasu Kozo, or yeah, Kozo. So, this is interesting. I don't know what that means. And yeah, that's where they end off the thing with Tonoyasu, which I see that they're more than likely going to pick up next week. Now, we cut back to Udon Prison, and Rizo tells Hio, like, what happened, and that Toki sent them 20 years into the future. So, if you don't know who Toki is, Toki is Momonosuke and Hiore's mother. So, again, we also get the confirmation that thanks to Toki's powers, which I guarantee you more than likely not is a devil fruit power, she sent Momonosuke and the others 20 years into the future. So we actually focus on Caribou a little bit, and Caribou tells Luffy, look, I just want to get out of here. Could you please let me be on your ship and take me out to sea and let me go free? Essentially, he just wants to get out of Wano and stuff like that. Now, if I forgot how he ended up in Wano, but essentially all I know is he was caught by some pirates. I guess were allied with Kaido, and he was transported to obviously Wano and Udon. I forgot all that thing. So if you know that thing, put that in the comment section. Luffy says, "Okay, I'll do that for you as long as you change, or as long as you have changed." Now, what I found funny is Caribou thinks Luffy is a trap, but knowing Luffy, he's too lenient with how he wants. He just randomly accepts people. It makes sense here. Well, it doesn't make sense. Obviously Luffy knows like I can't trust this guy because he literally almost tried to freaking um, capture Shirahoshi back in Fishman Island, which is still a problem because one, he now knows of the plan, the rebellion, and again, he still knows that Shirahoshi is an ancient weapon. So I still can't trust this guy. I don't know, just with a shot of his doubt, I still can't trust this guy. Whatever, I cannot trust Caribou because Caribou is that shifty type of character that will do whatever he wants to get whatever he wants. Now Hugh actually goes on to say that there are four other excavation sites like the Udon prison they are in right now, and there are other prisoners that aren't there for really arrest and assault, are for like stealing or assault and stuff like that. Some of these prisoners are actually here because what is it? They essentially went against Orochi, or they committed treason against Orochi. Hugh actually goes to say that the other Yakuza bosses are in Udon as well. And he says he'll try to convince them to work with, the rebellion because he's like, well, now that I know, you know, I actually have a meaning to live now because, because he was actually talking like, you know, if I never heard this, I would have just died a miserable death. But now, because of this, I'm so lucky and glad to still be alive to hear all this stuff. And he even asked Luffy and Rizzo, like, can I join your cause? Can I join the rebellion? And Luffy and Rizzo were like, oh, please, you're a former Yakuza boss and one of the most revered names in all of Wano. So, obviously we're gonna get a big prison break coming soon. And you know, um, he actually knows that Kawamatsu is actually in one of the cells as well. But Rizzo's like, yeah, I already know. I already talked to him. He'll be the first guy I will get out of here, without a shadow of a doubt. So Hio will convince the other Yakuza bosses to work with him for the side of Kozeki Odin. And yeah, it seems like it's going to be good. Now, Caribou, because Luffy's obviously hungry in this moment, he's like, okay, you want something to eat? Caribou has a big, pot of red bean soup. Which, if you know that there's a certain Big Mom character here that really is craving red bean soup. And in the next into the to be continued scene, Luffy said he's gonna stuff himself full. Well, I think we just found out how Big Mom's going to get her memories back is because she's going to hate the fact that Luffy ate up all the red bean soup and she's going to go crazy. And yeah. If things couldn't get any worse than this. It's already bad enough that Big Mom's on the way to Udon Prison, which they're almost there, honestly. And two, Luffy will have eaten all the red bean soup. Not only will Queen be pissed off at Luffy, but Big Mom will be too. And I think that's when she'll get her memories back. Hell, to be honest, I still think if she sees one look of Luffy or hears the word Mugiwara, she's gonna remember. She's gonna be like, Mugiwara? Why does it sound so familiar? So things are not gonna end too well. Now that Luffy's eating the red bean soup, or maybe, Big Mom will go through another hunger pain in terms of red bean soup, which is only going to alert Kaido that she's there. Anyways, that's where the episode ends off. Next week seems like it's looking like they caught Tonoyasu, and what might be happening to him he might be like, looks like he might be for going for execution or something like that, because we see Otoko running and she's crying. So I'm guessing they're threatening to kill him. Then again, in the first opening over the top, they showed Tonoyasu like essentially looking to be crucified. Or is on some kind of pole with his arms looking like I said he's going to be crucified. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I actually thought this episode wouldn't be so good, but it was actually pretty good. And we got a lot of revelations. It seemed like the rebellion is also growing. The only thing is, Luffy and Hio got to get them collars off their necks to get out of Udon Prison. Honestly, the perfect time would be now to do that, because it's nighttime and nobody's paying attention. Anyways, that's all I got to have for this episode. And yeah, so if you guys like this video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts about this episode. Again, do not post manga spoilers for future events, as well as what's currently going on in the manga right now, because I don't want to know that information and stuff like that. So yeah. But other than that, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece content. And again, tomorrow I will be joined by the Red Wolf, my collaborative buddy, and we will be doing our One Piece arc reviews, which we will be covering this Sunday, the Reverse Mountain arc and Whiskey Peak arc, which is the start of the Alabasta saga. So, yeah. So other than that, guys, if you want to hit the subscribe button to get my thoughts on past arcs, well, there you go. I know I made 3 videos of that so far. So yeah, as well as hit the subscribe button to get more One Piece weekly episode reviews and stuff like that. So till then, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. This has been Camper15. Hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your night. So till then, guys, peace.